Pleasant good morning to you. I call to order the first informal meeting of the plenary on the outcome of the high-level plenary meeting of the 69th session of the General Assembly, to be known as the World Conference on Indigenous People, to be held in accordance with Resolution 66296 of 17th September 2012. As mentioned in my letter dated 30th May, I will be assisted by two ambassadorial colleagues, the permanent representative of Costa Rica, Ambassador Ulibarri, and the permanent representative of Slovenia, Ambassador Logar, as well as two representatives designated by the indigenous people, and they are Dr. Myrna Cunningham. Oh, you're all the way over there. And Mr. Les Malizar. And they too will be assisting me with this process. The purpose of this informal consultations and any one subsequent to it is to allow you to share with me your views on the contents of what is referred to in Resolution 66296 as a concise, action-oriented outcome document. We, of course, in accordance with that particular resolution, I will be convening an interactive hearing on 17th and 18th of this month, at which time we will, in an interactive setting, hear from the indigenous peoples, from member states, the UN system, one and all stakeholders, on precisely what they would like to see in the outcome document. I urge member states to participate fully in that exercise. Let me begin by giving the floor to the first speaker on my list, the delegation of Mexico.
Gracias, señor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Mr. President, the delegation of Mexico would like to express its gratitude for your having convened this informal meeting to prepare the outcome document of the World Conference. We recognize your decision to hold these meetings in a format that would enable us to fully comply with the mandate conferred upon us by the General Assembly in Resolution 66/296. In that regard, we would like to express our full support to you and to your advisors, who are the representatives of Costa Rica, Slovenia, and the two indigenous representatives as well, Dr. Myrna Cunningham and Mr. Les Malizar, so that we can come up with a draft that is consistent with the expectations of the world's indigenous peoples. Mr. President, I would like to make a few preliminary comments on the elements that my delegation believes should be included in the document that we will adopt for the conference. First of all, we will need to highlight the fact that in Resolution 66/296, that the outcome document be concise and action-oriented. That document should contribute to the realization of the rights of indigenous peoples and the fulfillment of the principles outlined in the Declaration on Indigenous Peoples. The document should focus on the identification of actions to expedite the implementation of the Declaration, and it should also seek to fully implement the commitments that were undertaken vis-à-vis that instrument. My delegation would also like to highlight the value of the final document adopted in the Global Preparatory Conference on the Indigenous Peoples Conference, which was held in Alta, Norway in June 2013. That document outlines the themes of particular interest to Indigenous peoples. In that regard, the delegation of Mexico believes that as a starting point, the structure of the document could touch upon a series of issues that are outlined in that document. Those issues are access to justice, the right to consultations and free, prior, and informed consent, the role of the United Nations in the promotion of Indigenous peoples' rights, as well as lands and territories. We would also propose adding the issue of Indigenous peoples to the post-2015 development agenda. With regard to access to justice, the World Conference on Indigenous Peoples should strive to ensure that access to justice for Indigenous persons and peoples is ensured through cooperation of states with Indigenous peoples. These efforts should fully recognize the historical prejudices and injustices to which Indigenous peoples have been subjected. And this makes the Indigenous population extremely vulnerable. States should make a commitment to develop a range of mechanisms to promote access to justice for Indigenous persons and peoples. And states should also be encouraged to adopt or to revise or review the following aspects. Those aspects are the promulgation of laws and programs, promoting the capacity building initiatives, training of officials and agents in the justice sector, including on cultural and linguistic aspects of Indigenous peoples in judicial processes. In addition, full legal recognition should be granted to Indigenous legal systems in terms of justice and their traditional justice systems. These should protect women and children from all discrimination. With regard to the right to consultation and free, prior, and informed consent, the World Conference on Indigenous Peoples should encourage states to ensure that the right to free, prior, and informed consent is upheld through consultation processes that are consistent with international human rights standards. We would suggest greater cooperation with states, between states and Indigenous peoples, in drafting protocols for consultations and relevant legislation in the areas of interest to Indigenous peoples. These mechanisms should be culturally appropriate and flexible as well. It's worth highlighting that in Mexico, despite the fact that the country does not have a law on consultations, significant progress has been made, as is the case with the protocol on the implementation of consultations for Indigenous peoples and communities in accordance with ILO Convention 169. This document was drafted by the National Commission on the Development of Indigenous Peoples, and it is used by a range of institutions. With regard to the United Nations role in the promotion of Indigenous peoples' rights, the conference should recognize the key role that United Nations mechanisms on Indigenous peoples can play. A call should be made to the United Nations entities, as well as its agencies, funds and programs, to ensure that they pay particular attention to the recommendations that have been made. It would be timely for this conference to also promote existing mechanisms and to review existing structures. We are open to considering the proposals that have been put forward, such as the appointment of a special envoy or advisor of the Secretary General on Indigenous peoples, in accordance with the model that has been outlined in what has been called the Special Envoy on Persons with Disabilities and Accessibility. So following that particular model, there is also a possibility to strengthen existing mechanisms, ones that exist, for example, in the Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights. The conference could also recognize the need for the United Nations to pay greater attention and to coordinate to a greater extent to promote the rights of Indigenous peoples. These efforts could include reviewing the structure of the Interagency Support Group to confer upon it new mandates, including the designation of officials at the highest level to follow up on its work. This entity could report on its progress in a regular fashion as part of the Permanent Forum on Indigenous Issues, and it could report to states and Indigenous representatives as well. It would also be important, we believe, to strengthen and further professionalize United Nations agencies to provide technical assistance to states and to support national capacity building. With regard to lands and territories, efforts should be made to ensure that states make a commitment to developing mechanisms for consultation that are culturally relevant to promote the right to free, prior, and informed consent. Lands, territories, resources, oceans, and waters of Indigenous people should be respected. Similarly, we also believe it would be important to highlight the main concepts on lands and territories that are already provided for in the Declaration, including the spiritual relationship between Indigenous peoples and the land. With regard to the post-2015 Development Agenda and taking into account existing gaps and inequalities and the poverty that confronts Indigenous peoples worldwide, their inclusion in the post-2015 Development Agenda should be considered in the conference program. It would be important to call for a linkage between the results of the World Conference with the discussions that are ongoing with regard to the post-2015 Development Agenda. It is worthwhile to highlight the need for Indigenous peoples' participation in the drafting of strategies to further promote their economic development. This development should be based on their priorities and with respect for their culture and identity. With regard to the recommendations of the Permanent Forum and its expert mechanism, we would like to highlight the need to promote independent consultations with Indigenous peoples on the post-2015 Development Agenda. We would like to highlight the results of the Indigenous peoples event that took part as part of the consultations that were entitled Realizing the Future That We Want in Latin America and the Caribbean Towards the Post-2015 Development Agenda. This was held in Guadalajara. It's very important to consider all provisions of this document. Thank you very much, Mr. President.